All right, yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski. I thought this would be the perfect excuse to go ahead and make a breeding for profit video in PokeMMO because you see, there's been a lot of massive PvP changes, and I constantly try to tell players within PokeMMO that even if you don't play PvP, it's super important to know what PvP changes are happening. It's a really good way to take advantage of the market, take advantage of increased demand, and meet the supply, make some really good Pokeyen. It's very simple stuff. We're gonna try our hand at some breeding for profit today. As you can see on the right-hand side, a lot of changes have happened. Now, we can't breed Raikou. Legendaries are unbreedable, so we don't care too much about that, although it is a pretty big, interesting change that may affect the price of things like rainbow quills for a temporary period of time. Up to UU from NU, you have things like Snorlax and Ambipom. Now, when things move up a tier, it's generally, sometimes people have those Pokemon, they're like strong enough to be in the tier, but they're not going to like break the tier often. I'm not super excited by that for money making things, but when things go down a tier, what I'm interested in is the Mismagius and the Torkoal. Those two extremely powerful Pokemon going down to NU is going to require a ton of NU players to now make these Pokemon if they didn't have them prior, and there's a pretty good chance they didn't have them prior. Also, a slightly hidden change, a change that was below that change that a lot of people missed, was that Sharpness Gallade has now been unbanned to OU. Sharpness Gallade has been banned and unbanned like 3 or 4 times, and they've adjusted the stats and they've tried to make it work, and it just continues to not work. It continues to be too strong for the tier. So we're gonna try our hand today very casually, no timer. We might do like 30 minutes or so of breeding for profit is kind of my goal. We are starting with 28,974,000 Pokeyen, and I'm gonna start looking on the GTL for some breeds to get started. First things first, I want to check Torkoals, and I want to check HP, defense, and defenses 20 plus in all of those stats. What is that looking like? This one's even actually, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this. I think this one's actually, it's 10,000 Pokeyen. The nature is irrelevant, but you have 25 plus in Spatak as well. The reason I'm buying this is I can combine this with a really good Ditto for really cheap, or even, yeah, it is male, so no breeder. It has to be a Ditto and probably get a pretty good mon out of it. Let's go check PvP statistics and see what people are running in NU in terms of nature for Torkoal, not Rotom. Torkoal currently going relaxed nature. It's only been played in a few games. The PvP season just started. This is 4 games long, which is crazy. It also probably means that like a lot of people don't have the Pokemon, so they literally can't run it. Relaxed. You want some sort of plus. I think you could go bold. Some sort of plus defense nature is probably ideal. So I would go ahead and what I would do with this Torkoal is I would go ahead and look on the GTL for a Ditto with 20 plus, 20 plus, 20 plus, 20 plus, and then being bold or relaxed nature. And that way we can just go ahead and Everstone. We can brace something if we want to. We do need a Ditto for this. The Ditto is probably going to be base price Ditto. And this one looks pretty solid. The defense is a little low, which is a little sad. This is 19k. Let's check relaxed. Are people running it in Trick Room to like they really want relaxed? Like that's a good question you have to ask. The defense is going to be lower than I would like, is the main problem with these, but I'm pretty happy. I think the bold one's a bit better. I think bold is also quite good. It lowers your rapid spin damage is the only thing if you run it as a spinner. That's the only concern. What has better stats? The bold one or the relaxed one? I'm just gonna go ahead and buy this one. Honestly, I think just getting more breeds done quicker is probably better. It's gonna cost me, this whole breed's gonna end up costing me like 20k, okay? About 20,000 Pokeyen. And we're going to calc all of our numbers at the end, but I'm probably going to be able to sell this. Let's go see. Just because the Torkoal market is so underserved. I've talked about this constantly. There's just not enough good IV Torkoals. Next up, 20 plus with these stats as a Torkoal with a good nature. I mean, they're just really expensive. I'll probably end up selling this Torkoal for like 80k is my guess. It probably cost me about 20k to make. I'll probably sell it for 80k pretty quickly. So that's a good example of a very quick, very chill breed like that. It's going to be bought up by someone wanting to test the team, test the Pokemon, and still be decent enough to rock it in PvP, but it's not ideal, of course. We can just randomly roll Pokeballs, whatever. Gender can randomly roll. Let's go ahead and find our second breed. That's like 60,000 Pokeyen most likely made right there. Let's find our second breed, boys. Ooh, I'm just browsing around random Ralts, Curlias, Gardevoirs. That feels really cheap. There's a... Ooh... Female Curlia as well for 3,000. Let's buy that. Let's do both of that. That one's gonna be more complicated though. This one's pretty cheap. 8K. Let's just go for it. I don't know if I'll be able to for sure make a profit. You do have to make sure you make these male because Gallades have to be male. So make sure that if it's the final breed, you want to go ahead and make these male. Well, I'm looking for a, yeah, 20 plus and a bunch of stats. Is this humanoid A group? Humanoid chaos. Oh, we might be able to find a super cheap chaos physical attack breeder. That would be sick. So we're looking for 31 speed. And then we can brace if we want to, like the defense on this or the attack. Let's just look. 17K for that. Would it be cheaper to, let's see if it's even cheaper to buy. It might not be cheaper. Sometimes it's cheaper to just buy a better breeder and not have to brace. So for example, like if I bought this Ditto, right, I'd have to brace the defense on that and the defense would be higher, but it's costing me 23K versus just buying this one with 20 plus defense only cost me 17K, right? So double check stuff like that. We're gonna get rid of the attack and see if 16K versus, yeah, it's literally just cheaper for me to go ahead and buy, I think that Ditto or like this Frillish. 22. The attack's gonna be a little low. We could roll good nature here as well and really be cooking. Let's check humanoid and stuff as well, but I'm guessing chaos is going to be cheaper. This one's, I like, maybe we buy this. It's 17K and you get 27 attack. Maybe that's, ooh, better. I'm going to do that. I think that's worth it. Versus the yeah, we paid like so much less, like barely more. We barely paid more is the words I'm looking for there. So now we can go ahead and we need to buy a speed brace. How much did this breed cost? We'll tally it all up at the end as well and get like full numbers, but it's cool to go a little bit step by step. Like this Curlia, this Ditto. Look at that second breed going as well. My incubators are cooking. Good. We probably make this male. Now, the only... We're hoping for a nature roll here is the main problem. If it doesn't come out with a good nature roll, we still sell it as a breeder. If it comes out lonely, naughty, you really want adamant or jolly. Like on a good PvP mon, you want good natures, adamant or jolly. This is a solid enough mon in my opinion. If it comes out adamant or jolly, we're in insane money. If it comes out like hasty, lonely, naughty, I'll still sell it for something decent. If it comes out unusable nature, we still sell it as a breeder, but it's not done yet. Maybe we can fix it with a Ditto, but that's going to be kind of tough. Let's now go for our next Curlia though. But that whole, let's go check actually. That whole breed cost me 17K, 27. The whole breed cost me like 35K. That whole breed costs like 35,000 Pokeyen. And it's probably going to go hopefully for more than that, but we'll see. We'll see. Next up is this Curlia. Still, we have a female. Let's go ahead and see if we can find a similar situation. So 31 speed, 20 plus. I probably should have just bought two of those when I was, that's a good, like, when I was looking. I haven't done this in so long. I have not done like mass breeding for profit like this, like in like a, you know, I kind of want to keep 25 attack if possible. It's not that much more. I think it's worth it. People really value like that 25 plus attack. 17K there versus humanoid. Yeah, let's just go for it then. Back to chaos. Chimecho 26. You got it. Boom. So we're gonna buy a speed brace again. If I can sell these for 40K, I'm happy. You know, and I should be able to sell them for more than that. Let's do this. Go through with this breed. Curlia Chimecho. Boom, boom. Make it. Did I pay for the last? Did I fuck up and not pay for the last one to be male? That's honestly fine. Because if it doesn't, it's kind of fine. You want it to be male. Because if it rolls nature, you paid, yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's why doing it on stream is kind of fun sometimes. Okay. On to looking for our next. We have 3 breed for profits cooking. Let's go on to our next one. We've done 2 Gallade, 1 Torkoal. I kind of want to go back to Torkoal. You want to do a mix, but I also want to check Mismagius here. We'll do some Mismagius before we're done for sure. And that's how you find the good deals. Look at that. Look at this. 31 in HP defense, but Defova can still buy it. 3K. 3K. Is that female as well? Oh my god. Sometimes you can find some snipes, man. Torkoals are just a really underserved economy already. And now that it's moved down to NU, dude, getting a 31 HP IV Torkoal for 3K like that, the next cheapest Torkoal with a 31 HP defense or SPDF is 13K. I could just flip that if I want to for like a 10K gain, but I'd rather try to get a breeder on it and make it like really good profit. We've also got 25 plus attack. Let's we high roll anything else. Defense and SPDF are so low, I doubt we're high rolling those. Let's find ourselves a breeder. It is female. I think it's female field egg group. Yo, what's up, Mystic Wolf, by the way? Female field egg group. So we're going to go field male. And we're going to go We're either looking for 31. I mean, defense is so important on Torkoal, but I'd love to high roll the Spadef if possible. Let's do 20 plus here. Like, field Edgar breeders are pretty cheap. Like, these are sick. Like, 3K for these. God. Okay, everything's so cheap these days. You can use cheap Pokemon to your advantage right now in the current economy, right? So let's grab that Darumaka for only 3,000 Pokeyen. You are going to have to pay 20k for the braces. That's like the most expensive part of a breed like this, which makes sense. It's got to happen. HP brace on Torkoal, defense brace on Darumaka. We have a chance to high roll the Spadef here, or at least medium roll it. Special attack will stay 20 plus. This will be a banger breed, man. And we do want to pay for this to be female, especially because now that we're at 2 times 31, you don't want to have to buy a 2 times 31 Ditto. If you're at 1 times 31, you can sometimes, like, Dittos are so cheap, you can kind of, you know, roll the gender and just try to save some Pokeyen here and there. Once you're at 2 times 31, you almost always want to pay for it to be female, because 2 times 31 plus Dittos just get ridiculously expensive. I almost want to go ahead and just start selling this to see if it just sells quickly, because, well, dude, the Torkoal market is just so underserved. A bold Torkoal, good-natured Torkoal with 20 plus and all the stats that it needs, it only needs 4 stats generally, it might just sell quickly, which is crazy. If we just do like 20 plus like this and do bold, I think I sell it for like 80k, which like is crazy, you know. I honestly probably could sell it for more. Like, I probably could, but I don't want anybody to like, oh, he's taking advantage. I don't want any possible claim. You probably go 100. It just seems so silly. Like, this being 80k is already greedy enough, but I think it's worth that. Like, in times like this when there's just so little supply, I think it's about what it's worth, which is crazy, right? Charmander, okay, you actually have a genius shout. Okay, nature matters. Yeah, bold is typically, bold or relaxed is like really good. You want relaxed if you're in trick room, but bold is generally quite good as well. Nature absolutely matters. Charmander, do I like it? Now, I do actually like the idea. It's funny you bring that up, of breeding everyone's gonna be breeding Torkoals for, not everybody, but some people should be breeding Torkoals for profit. It's kind of underrated still, but people are going to need Charmanders, because when Torkoal drops, it allows Solar Power Charizard and all the other like Sun Pokemon to come out. Like Charizard, look at this. Now, once again, this data is so minimal. That's the other problem, I guess, is I am breeding for profit in an underplayed tier. NU is not the most popular tier by any means, but there's still some people, and you want to move around and adjust things and always constantly be changing what you're doing for profit. I like the idea of breeding from some Charmanders for profit, because like that one's 48. Am I missing something? 48k, 4800. Yeah, the next cheapest one is 10k. Like, that was a deal. That was an absolute banger deal. Let's next do 31 speed Charmander. I can also just do like Charmander. Yeah. The cheapest 31 speed Charmander is 28k. Wow. Okay, so what I'm gonna do instead of doing that is I'm gonna look for a 31 speed Ditto. Do I have something selected that's like making things show up weird? Okay, I was like, huh? Okay, cheapest 31 speed Ditto is 6k, you know, easy peasy. No other stats. I'm fine with that. Like, this probably makes a profit. We can also like get a breed going, and it's not, you can like, right now is a good time when stuff like that happens. Right now is a good time to breed rare Pokemon. Like, if you ever want an egg shiny Charmander, if you want to breed for profit, it's not the fastest way to go about it, but like breeding for profit for a shiny Charmander right now is really good when there is some money to be made. We've got stuff, the Torkoal selling. Do we have an empty box in the front? We do have an empty box. I can go throw these over in. That's fine. Get my incubators cleared. I'm going to keep the Charmander breed on me for a quick sec. Let's see if we can find one more Charmander breed. Let's do a 2 times 31 Charmander breed, and then we'll also do a 20 plus in 4 stat Charmander breed to show you like the different, like, not everything is 31s, not everything is 20 pluses. It just depends on, like, we want to switch it up, and people need different things, and yada yada yada. Generally, you probably do want 31 speed on chart. Like Torkoal, you don't need 31s. They're nice, but you don't need them, right? We're on the main account, Brewski. What's up? What's up? Charizard, however, at the 100 speed tier is probably going to need 31 speed. Like, that 31 is probably going to matter a lot, is the problem. So let's try this. What's this one? Like, this Charmander piques my eye. It's 15k, 31 speed, missing HP. That piqued my eye. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that. That might be a really good breed. So that cost me 15,000 Pokeyen. Let's find ourselves a Ditto. I would love to try to high roll this HP. and just get greedy, be greedy on it. HP 20 plus, 25 plus on Spatak, 20 plus Spadef. Find myself a Ditto that pairs. I mean, if I really want to get crazy, I could find a Ditto with 31 speed and these stats and then be like correct nature, but I think that's going to be too... Let's not do that. Too expensive. I don't think there's much profit motive there. So then do we just go for the 31? Maybe we do just go for the 31 HP on the Ditto. Maybe that's correct. But this one for 10k, like, yeah, I like this. Okay. This is going to like look really good. So now we go speed brace, HP brace. I have stopped tracking like individual prices on breed, but if you want to like make profit fast, you don't have to, you have to have enough capital to not worry about that, you know? Sometimes it's nice, but yeah. That is, yeah, imagine he wasn't on the, that would be a nightmare. Like, it's easy to make that mistake. I thankfully have not made that mistake yet, you know? There we go. That breed cooking. This breed cook. That's why you double check breeds. That is why you take a second. Don't spam through. I make that mistake all the time where I put the braces on the wrong Pokemon. Even after 12,000 hours, I still... Look at this fucking Charmander. Dude, this was wicked cheap. This Ditto, like... Wow. The Charmander... This was 25k plus double braces. So, like, 45k. 45k for a Charizard with these stats is insane. That's crazy, man. That's really, really, really nice. Okay. Let's get that going. We got another egg hatched. I wonder if I shouldn't have listed off that other Torkoal yet, so we can list everything together and like get a true judge of the expected revenue and stuff. This Torkoal I might want to keep carrying on with the breeds. It might get too expensive here, but I don't think it is. We kept it female. If we can make this thing 3 times 31, it came out naughty nature, which is irrelevant. If we can make this thing this thing could get really good, really fast. And I feel like it's worth it in times like this to make a good mon like this. Let's find a quick breeder for this. Dude, there is no way Pokemon are this cheap right now. Look at this slack off. You can't even see it actually. 18k as a breeder for this Torkoal. Holy dude. That's the benefit of the market right now at weird times. Is like you can find positives and negatives in every single market, and you've got to just find them. The hard part is finding them and adapting and constantly adapting to new markets. Let's go Spadef brace on the Slackoth, HP brace on the Torkoal. That's going to create a mean 3 times 31 Torkoal. Okay. Does anybody in chat have a suggestion of a Pokemon they want to see bred for profit? Let's do Mismagius. But I love, that's a fun one, is like taking suggestions for breeds for profit. You can't always do them that well, but yeah. Let's try Mismagius. Right now we're breeding for profit on the main account, Kyles. The Mismagius, especially because a lot of Pokemon just got moved PvP tiers. Like Mismagius got moved down to NU. Let's check like Spatak. 31 Spatak Mismagius, female 5k. I mean, that's so cheap. We could get a quick, easy breed out of that. I do think these might be slow sales. Yeah, we did 2 Gallade breeds, but I could do more, Abe. I do want to qualify. I think doing a bunch of NU breeds, not all of these are NU breeds, but NU breeds are going to be a bit of a slower sale. I got to tell people that so they know and they don't come in with false expectations. This is a female 31 Spatak. So I need a Chaos Egg Group male. Male Chaos with 31 speed. 6k. So we're going to do that. And that's going to be a pretty cheap breed. And if I roll Timid or Modest, hell yeah. And now I want... Now I just want like 20... Well, the problem is Mismagius, similar to a lot of the other... Like, you need 31 speed. Like, this is what I would look for in a Mismagius Pokemon, is like 20 plus in every... Yeah, like this is a good example of a Mismagius for like this one. Modest nature. 2 times 31 in Spatak. You could do Misdrevious as well. Hasty nature there. That feels cheap. It's male. That's why it's a weird... Okay, so it's not really... It's like going to be a breeder. Not... Okay, yeah. So I'm looking for... Let's get rid of the speed. We'll do the same thing we did in the previous one. We'll just buy a... Well, this one's 30 speed. Ooh, we could flip this if we want to get crazy. Like a quick flip. I'm going to buy this for 8k, sell it for 25. Because that's like a really mediocre, like, or maybe even 30k. If someone wants to buy this as a really mediocre Misdrevious PvP comp, they can. 30 speed IV, 25 plus attack, 20 plus in all defenses, mild nature. It's not ideal, right? But that's still a it's a quick flip. So that's gonna be, I do have to count that actually on my expected revenue, because that was a flip versus a so let's do 28k after the listing fee. Let's go back to looking for a good Mismagius breeder. 20 plus in these stats. This one's 15k. Females prefer. This is really good stats, dude. But it's 18k with no 31s. Is a little wonky. How much would the breeder cost? Let's find male. Chaos. Then you would do this and like get rid of a stat here and there. So you would do like, let's get rid of this. Finding the breed. Okay, that's good. Okay. How much would it cost to just do this? 17k? Swallow. That's cheaper than 17k versus 18k. I think that's going to be cheaper than buying the brace. It's about the same price. It's about the same price, so it comes down to what the stat is. Okay, I feel comfortable buying the Mismagius, though. That's what matters here, so now we do go back to the Mismagius. I want to double check to make sure I'm comfortable buying the Mismagius. Someone bought the other one as well. It seems like. Yes, A group female. One of mine sell? I can't tell. Oh, I just misclicked and... Wait, did I? Did I just misclick and claim all that Pokeyen? Fuck! We'll have to do some math. God damn it. Okay. That's an annoying misclick, but whatever. That 30k Mismagius sold, though. Hell yeah. So that we actually can claim that, and that'll count into our profit. How much was that claim for, chat? Oh my goodness. Claimed. It wouldn't be a Patrouski video without a scuffed situation. That makes sense, man. We'll do 1.16 plus 29k and get that math calced out for everybody. Okay, I think I know the math to fix this, fellas. So we do 20, the number that I have now, 29,890 minus the number that we got. That gives us 28,693. So that's okay. So we'll just keep that number in mind / we claimed 1,197k. Yeah, like this. So we're gonna have to subtract that. We'll figure it out. We'll get the math. I don't want anybody to think we have like the wrong numbers. We'll get the math figured out here in a quick sec. But let's go ahead and go back to Mismagius. Get back to our breeds. Get back on track. We got a few more breeds to finish up. Was this done? This was a complete breed, right? The Mismagius and the Duskull. In 2 minutes, it will have been 30 minutes breeding. So I like the idea. Let's just go ahead and finish up the pairing for this other Mismagius, and we'll just call it a day. Let's go ahead and find a breeder for this. We've got this is the 20 plus Mismagius. Really good stats, man. Female as well, so we should be able to find a good breeder. Male, Chaos. We want that 31 speed. Remember, that speed is important on a Pokemon like this. But we can do like 20 plus and everything else. I think it was pretty cheap to find the Swalot. Yeah, the Swalot's 31 speed. But it might be better. So our HP is 30. We can get rid of the HP, and it might be cheaper to actually... Yep, it would be cheaper, and you would get better stats. Yep, I'm going to buy this Duosian for 7k. It's going to cost us effectively the same amount as the Swalot at 17k, but we'll end up with better stats. Because it's going to cost us 7k plus 10k for the brace. So we are going to claim that to the PC. Put an HP brace onto Mismagius. Does that cost us the same? I think it does. I'm pretty sure. I had to double check for a sec. Get a speed brace on this. Does it cost us more? Because we have to... I'm not sure. Anyways. Sometimes with fast breeding, you'll definitely make mistakes, but we're still gonna make a lot of profit. Like that's the beauty, is you can always improve. You can always make more profit. Like breeding for profit, the skill ceiling of breeding for profit is ridiculous, man. It's insane. Let's get these breeds going. This Torkoal is going to be awesome. If we can roll a nature on it, that would be fantastic. Let's get this this Mismagius breed. Beautiful. We got a lot of breeds done in about 30 minutes or so. This going just 2 times 31, simple breed. Got good deals on the Pokemon. Thank you for the gold jewels. Let's Let's check what we hatched so far and see if we got any good nature rolls. I don't think I ever stoned a whole lot. So anything in good nature will be rolls. Naughty, like that's a good, like that'll sell, man. Like that'll add to the value. It's not ideal, but oh, that's a good lucky roll. Modest. Okay, so there we can't have all the lucky rolls in the world. This one's not as lucky, understandably so. This one, naughty, is quite valuable, like quite good. This will just be a breeder for someone. Someone will have to rebreed this with a ditto. I wonder if we could. I'm just gonna let someone else do it. Someone else deal with it. And then, no way! Dude, this is why I love nature roll breeds. This rolling modest. Oh my goodness. That's gonna, okay, we're gonna make good money. This is gonna be a good, this is why breeding for profit is so good, because dude, I thought breeding for profit was dead. People talked about, I just haven't been doing it. People talked about it being, oh, the new economy and blah, blah, blah. Bro, breeding for profit seems very much still alive. I think it's harder than before. It's less easy, but the profits might have come down a little bit. But like, if you can still make like 200K an hour pretty consistently breeding for profit, having chances at rare eggs coming out, you know, rare shinies, that's pretty good in my book. And then you have chances. I think breeding for profit, you can make like 200K an hour consistently, and then have chances for things like crazy nature rolls where you make 300K or 400K an hour, or you have the potential, right? It's similar to, I guess, ditto farming in that way, but it requires a lot of brain capacity to breed for profit like this. Yeah, I'm never gonna beat the Patrouski allegation. That was really like naughty on one and modest on the Charmander is crazy. The modest Charmander is actually nuts. We're gonna see how these last 3 eggs come out, and I will see you guys with the final hatches, final numbers, and all the sales coming up here in a quick sec. We are calculating expected profit today, as we do in pretty much every money making method video that I ever do on my channel. We always cover expected profit. I think things are pretty likely to sell if you price things correctly within PokeMMO, but sometimes they take a bit longer. You have to relist them. I would say about 90% of stuff that I list sells within the first listing cycle. About 8% I need to relist out of human error or market changes, like the market just adapts and the prices change. And then 2% take more time because they're just very niche Pokemon or niche sales. That's my general breakdown. Let's go ahead and see how these hatches come. All right, our final 3 eggs just hatched, fellas. Let's see if we got any lucky nature rolls. I mean, careful is kind of, dude, what? That might be usable. Like, it's not as good as a relaxed or a bold, obviously, but someone might want a careful, like a psycho. Brave is nothing on this. It's actually bad, obviously. Quiet is nothing really on that. Even though it's plus attack, it's not actually anything usable. So, okay, let's separate our Pokemon. These are sellable by nature. We've got our Torkoal. You guys can't really see that, so apologies. Move these up. Torkoal, Ralts, dude, this Charizard. Should we save the Charizard for last? That's going to be worth money, man. That's going to be really nice. Okay. Let's first start off with Mismagius. I don't know how much these Mismagius are gonna go for, actually. I don't know, like, the demand on these as much. I'm less familiar with this economy and Pokemon in general. Let's just do Mismagius. And it's female as well, so, like, that helps for breeding them up in the future. Misdrevious, that's, like... That's insane that there's just, like, nothing on the GTL with these stats. Let me actually move the, let me shrink this. That is crazy that there's nothing on the GTL with these stats. Like, how is that possible for Mismagius / Misdrevious? They're like, the most comparable one is this one, but it's mine's not obviously at that point. It's female, so it's breedable. This might be similar to Torkoal. I think I could go, like, 60 to 80K on this. I probably spent like 40K type beat on it. Let's go like 75. I'm pretty happy with that. 75. So we're gonna start calculating stuff. Let's do our calculator, actually. Since we are calculating stuff, we could use our calculator. Calc is short for calculator, guys. It is slang. We do use slang around here. Thank you for asking. Okay, calculator in the bottom right corner above chat. So we're at 28K expected profit from that one flip, I believe, correct? And we did sell another Torkoal. So we're going to add plus 78K post-listing fee. We're then going to do... This is 75K minus the fee plus 71K. We still have to calculate the cost, obviously. We could have calculated the cost while we went, a bit easier, but that's okay. We're gonna figure it out. This 2 times 31 Misdrevious female. Very simple price check, thankfully. This is so much easier than the other one. 31 Spatak. Female is important because people want Misdrevious and Mismagius right now. 60K for Mismagius, straight from a alpha. 35K for a Misdrevious. Ooh, that does hurt my heart a little bit. And it's not sold in a while. That hurts my heart a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I might break even on that one. What I could do is like buy this one and I'm just gonna do, I think that's fair. I think that's about right. So it is what it is. We might break even or lose a little money on that one, and that's okay. You're not gonna profit on every breed for profit. That's the reality of the situation. We're gonna do plus 32k on that, and we'll subtract. We haven't subtracted costs yet, so don't see that number and go crazy, obviously. Next up is Charmander, 2 times 31. Very simple price check. I think we still profited on this. Oh, maybe not. Wow. Wow. That sucks. It's that cheap. There's like a very... Should I breed that again then becomes the question? That is brutal. Are they really that cheap? I'm going to go like 28k because it should sell at that. Man, that's brutal. Holy. Okay, we'll sell that. Plus 26 post fee. I might lose some money there. That's okay. Then the modest Ralts, that is with Gallade stats. Let's clear this out. Ralts, 20 plus in every stat, 31 speed. Wow. I mean, that's double. It's doubled. Wow, though. That might be some good. Sell it for like 60. It's an awkward breeder. Probably 60 to 80k is my guess on something like this. 65. I could go 65. I feel pretty confident in that. And then it's plus 62 post fee. Next up, now we got the big boys. Now that was all the I don't want to say junk, but now we're on, and that was like, that's probably more revenue than what we spent on all the breeds, you know, 300k or whatever. So I'm feeling pretty good. Let's save the chars. Yeah, that our stuff is selling as well. Our Misdreavy is sold. Let me actually move this up here. Like stuff is like pretty, that's pretty fast sells for PokeMMO standards, you know. I would tell people to like wait like 2 weeks and stuff generally. Wait the full listing cycle. Never like take stuff down, almost never take stuff down early. Unless markets are changing very, very quickly. This is gonna be Torkoal with these stats. Dude, there's just not relaxed nature. Like mine's careful. The Charmander sold for 28 as well. I think it was a fair price. That's nuts. I probably go... I want to go like 220 on this, but that might be too greedy. At least 200, 210. I think this Torkoal is nuts. I think it could catch a... It's just the demand right now. I think it's really nuts. We're going to do 210, and that's going to be plus 200k expected. And it insta sold. I think somebody will flip that. I actually like I think that's like, yeah, that's fine. I'd rather underlist than overlist. Someone might prefer a careful Torkoal for some reason there. Let's go ahead and go next up. Sell Ralts. Not the naughty. Oh, like come on. 20. Now, it wouldn't surprise me. I do have to mention it because people always, you know, I think it's important to talk about and be aware of, and obviously I am. It wouldn't surprise me if doing this while streaming definitely increases the speed of the sales. Don't get me wrong. Is there someone in chat who really wants a Patrouski OT, whatever, and I try to tell people not to because I don't want my sales to be impacted in that way, and I try to give out free Patrouski OT Pokemon whenever I can. But is that going to impact things? Absolutely. I have to factor that in, right? So some of these sales might be sped up, which is why it's so important to price things correctly, okay? As long as I price things mostly correctly and I feel comfortably, then we should be good. That's the main thing to factor in. Ralts is my modest one. Adamant. I think this could at least be like 82. I think this could be like 100k. Naughty, like the next, because it's Adamant, but it's 2 times 31, maybe 90k. This is a ready, if the EV train, once this is EV train to XP train, this is a Gallade, maybe 100k. Like this is ready to go, man. Like this is a Gallade ready to go, and they're a tough breed. They're a pain in that we have to make them male. I know it's naughty, it's not ideal, but that's like, they're pretty fucking sick. Okay, so plus 95. And a lot of the breeding for profit, as you see here, is like going through the numbers and calculating everything. Next up, okay, here's the big one, the biggest sale of the video, dude. This modest Charmander roll. I'm excited to sell this. Oh my goodness, dude. 30. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna count the HP as at 25 plus, 25, 20. I'll do 20 plus even. This is gonna be I'm excited for this. I'm very excited for this. Yeah, that did I say about, yeah, it's similar as the Torkoal, about 200k for this. I mean, this one's a bit better than mine. I probably go 160 to 180 on mine. Yeah, I probably go 160, 180. Maybe 170. I think 160 is fair. Let's do 160. I think that's fair. Mine's not, mine's missing the, it's not missing nature though. It's missing the, no, 170 is actually good. If it was missing nature, it'd be a lot more, yeah. That feels, one's also trained and stuff though. Let's go back down. That one's EV trained stuff. Let's go 160. Okay. War 1, yeah, 160k. Pretty comfortable with that. And we'll just add plus 150k on that. Yeah, obviously that insta sold. It was a really good price though, obviously. But obviously there's some Patrouski OT impact there. I try to be honest about it as much as possible. Okay. Beautiful. 742k expected revenue. That's not profit. We have to calc our bid costs now. So now as we do some bigger math. Someone said, did Charizard get moved? Great question. No, but it's because Torkoal got moved down to NU, and now that NU has a Sunsetter with Drought, a much better one. People were already using Vulpix to set Sun, and Torkoal's a much better Sunsetter. Torkoal used to be an OU. The fact that it's been moved down to NU, it lets Solar Power Charizard be unleashed a little bit. Dude, someone was saying yesterday they made like 5 million Pokeyen breeding Gallades just yesterday. So like, it's also, I want people to know this is not just like not anybody can do this, but it takes game knowledge, skill, Pokeyen. There are resources that it takes up, but you can make Pokeyen just like this too, man. The sales may be a bit slower. I'm honest. I try to be as honest as possible about it, but the opportunity is out there. You got to keep an eye on PvP changes, keep an eye on different demand and supply shifts within PokeMMO, and understanding what markets are underserved. Okay, by taking our current Pokeyen and then subtracting the 1197 number, that will give us the Pokeyen that we should have ended with, but it got disrupted. So that'll be 28,612. There we go. So pretty easy to go ahead and figure that out. So that means our cost was 28. We had 28,974. And then minus 28,612. That's going to leave us with a cost of 362,000 Pokeyen. So it cost us 362,000 Pokeyen to make all those breeds. We ended up making about 742k revenue. So we take this number and then subtract the 362k. Dude, in 30 minutes, that is an expected, and this is not a day-to-day PokeMMO thing. This is PvP tier changes happened last night to this morning. When raids come out, when PvP tier changes happen, you can still make 600k an hour or more breeding for profit. Now, sometimes you need some nature rolls and some things to go your way, but they will in the long run, and you'll make mistakes and all that jazz. But I think breeding for profit is still very much alive. I think breeding for profit, I think you used to make like 400k an hour, or maybe like 300 to 600k per hour end game breeding for profit 2 years ago. I do think nowadays it's not as good. I think nowadays you probably make around 200k an hour breeding for profit on average, but you can still make crazy amounts. You can still make good money per hour on average. It takes a lot more of like, it's more niche stuff versus just breeding up Garchomps for profit, like it used to be. It used to be hard to not make money breeding for profit. These days it's a lot more stimulating and a lot more finding niche markets and underserved markets. Requires a lot more game knowledge than it ever has. I'll be honest. It's breeding for profit is harder than ever. Still really good profits. I think 200k per hour is pretty consistent outside of special times. This is a special time. I ended up with 380,000 Pokeyen profit in about 45 minutes of work. So it was 30 minutes of breeding for of the breeding and having the eggs breeding, and then 15 minutes of egg hatching, as well as calculating everything for stream and stuff like that. You could have been way faster than me. I was not rushing. I was not like trying to speed run. This was chill and casual. This was 380,000 Pokeyen profit casually breeding for profit over about 30 to 45 minutes. So make sure to always keep an eye on PvP changes, take advantage of them, as well as just maybe try out breeding for profit. You might need to like relearn it in a new way and try to find different markets than you're used to. But breeding for profit, from my anecdotal experience, is still very much alive, although it is more difficult than it was 2 years ago. I think that's fair to say. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned a little bit. I hope you enjoyed it. Like the video if it was helpful. Subscribe for daily PokeMMO videos, and I will check you guys on daily streams on streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET, daily videos on YouTube. And if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel, if my content has helped your PokeMMO journey, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal and Venmo do help out a lot. But I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. For now, peace, Reno, fellas. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here, and I wanted to say thank you so much to everybody's name who is on this list. You really allow me to make the content that I do every single day, and I hope I can make it worth your guys' while and add to your PokeMMO journey. Thanks again so much for watching the entire video, and have a great day.